Hey there, this is Frank Whaley. And here's a little piece of advice for you. Trust me. Don't go out there. Don't go out there.
They've conquered the big screen. Now, get ready for the spin-off sure to send chills down your spine. It's Nico, Brian, Mike, and Dustin in Don't Go Out There, the series.
Welcome back, everybody, to DGOT, the series. We really appreciate y'all listening. We hope y'all have been enjoying these series reviews. I know we have. It's been a lot of fun. Just want to give a quick shout out to our website, don'tgoouthere.com. Everything about our podcast is on the website. All of our episodes and interviews, if you want to check those out. We've done some incredible interviews in the past. Go check them out there in a specific tab by themselves so you don't have to scroll through hundreds of episodes on Apple or Spotify, etc. We also have our store if you want to grab a shirt, a mouse pad, a hat, all that good stuff. We'd love to see your pictures, rep your favorite podcast. And Shan's Etsy page is also attached if you want to grab a tumbler. All of our social media links are on there as well. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Like us, subscribe us, follow us, all that good stuff. And the last thing I want to shout out on our website is our Patreon. We call it Blood Donors. We have the traditional monthly reoccurring kind. If you want to support us, help us pay the bills, as we say. Or if there's a movie you want us to review, that option is available as well. Just check out our website, don'tgoouthere.com. Also, if you haven't noticed, we've recently joined the Believe Network, so there's some ads on our program now. But if you want ad-free content, go check us out on Blood Donors. The ad-free episodes will be available there. We appreciate your support. And we are continuing on with episodes 4 and 5 of The Last of Us. I'll just go ahead real quick with my general thoughts. I like these 2 episodes better than the previous 3, to be honest with you. I really enjoyed the father-son dynamic we get. There's a lot more action. I'm just more invested into the show. Am I completely hooked like a bass, trying to bite a spinnerbait? No, not really, but I'm getting there. Like the flash of the blades is starting to draw me in a little bit. But I did enjoy both of these episodes. Still not all the way sold, but I did enjoy both of these 2 episodes a lot more than the previous 3. Brian, what'd you think?
Legend of the business once said, you don't see very many Bass Pro Shops hats in here. Just throw that out there. Overall, I thought episode 4 was fine. Episode 5 I felt like was a little too long, but it ended up being good as well at the end. I really enjoyed the action at the end of 5, finally. In the bond between Henry and Sam. Most of all, to me, Ellie wasn't as bad as she's been. I mean, that's the key for me. Overall, though, I'm liking the season a lot less than I did the first little binge that I watched. And that may be, like I told the guys, because of the binge where I really liked the first and the last a lot, which is my last impression. And I don't know, it just kind of seems like it's dragging a lot this watch through. It's starting to wear on me. Now, I'm glad it's not some big, huge arc right now with Kathleen's group and it's settled here in these 2 episodes. I think I got used to watching Walking Dead when it introduces us to someone like her. It's 23 more hours of her trying to kill him. So I did appreciate the tight storytelling in that regard. Overall, not bad episodes, but episodes I feel like could have been condensed into 1 easily, or even not at all. Because besides the stronger bond in Ellie and Joel, what did this little side quest the last 3 episodes really do? I mean, really nothing, unless it's, in the next episode where they pay that off. I don't know, but they were in the same spot as they were at the start of episode 4, just minus a car now and less bullets. So I don't know. Like I said, it's like a 2-episode little side quest detour. And after episode 3's detour, I'm ready for them to get where the fuck they're going, if that makes sense.
That's kind of how I felt with Bates Motel. It's like, why are we going on these side quests when we have a clear path to the story you're trying to tell me? I'm kind of having a hard time seeing what all the hoopla was about when this show released. I mean, you couldn't scroll social media without every other post just gassing this show up. And by no means am I saying that it's bad. I'm just saying that I don't love it. These 2 episodes, for an episode and a half, I was just like, okay, Like I'm failing to really find myself caring and getting sucked into the story like I should be. And, comparison is the thief of joy, but it's hard not to compare zombie shows. So when I think of season 1 of The Walking Dead, season 1 of this show, it's a no contest. The Walking Dead is much more captivating, and I care about the story. I care about the characters so much more than I do this one. And that's crazy because these zombies, they're closer to the World War Z zombies, which is what everybody wanted out of Walking Dead. Those are such slow moving zombies. These things can move. These things are like legit killing machines. So I don't know. I thought that episode 4 was okay. Like, it's very well made. Everything about this series is very well made. But as far as what you're showing me, it's not really making me care that much. I'm not really that invested in it. Episode 5 started out that way, but it ended really strong to where I actually really liked episode 5. So kind of a mixed bag this week for me.
Very fair, very fair. Dustin, you got the scene by scene for episode 4?
Yeah, unfortunately. Lord bear me strength.
Go ahead whenever you're ready.
Here we go. Episode 4. Please hold to my hand. We open with Ellie pointing her secret gun at herself in the mirror of an abandoned bathroom. She studies the gun and ammo a while before stashing it in her backpack and exiting the gas station to rejoin Joel. Joel tells her the gas is going bad, and I said, finally. I don't think it would be able to be used at all, but at least they're acknowledging it. Gas does go bad. And he siphons some out of an abandoned car. Ellie tells some of her awful jokes, and they hit the road. She gives him a Hank Williams Sr. cassette and starts looking at a porno mag, and the road trip from hell is underway. I shed a singular tear as we see a remnant of a treasure of the lost world, an Arby's sign. Shout out to the GOAT fast food restaurant. They take a break for the night and chow down on some 20-year-old ravioli, and Joel declines to make a fire because of the threat of other people. The next morning, they head out, and Ellie's mind is blown by coffee, and she studies the map for their route to Wyoming. She wants to know more about Joel's brother, so he fills her in about how Tommy wanted to be a hero, and that's how he ended up in Boston. He tells her he keeps going for family. She's not family. She's cargo. Dominic Toretto would never. He suggests that she take a nap, but she says she's not even tired, and that's the open.
Look, I'm glad you are giving it some credit, but I'm sorry I'm not on board with giving it any credit. My first line of this is there is zero chance at all that this gas would be anything but sludge at this point after 20 fucking years. Like, a year, maybe. I can buy that. I can buy the water thing. But 20 years? Are you joking? I don't know, ridiculous. But anyway, I know. Suspend disbelief. I do like, though, how this episode's kind of starts giving us these, like I said in the open, these two a bond. Craig Mazin enjoyed the use of Ellie's joke book apparently in the game and felt that its inclusion in the series allowed that development between her and Joel. And it's also the same book from the game. And speaking of being the same as in the game, the porn mag that Ellie looks at in the truck, it was actually taken from Bill's house in the original game. It was one of the big clues that let players know that Bill was how do I always say this word? In canon. I can't say canonically. I can't say that word. In canon, he was gay. So, yeah, I don't think that we, as show watchers, need any more clues about that one after last episode. So, just saying. Also, call me a dud or whatever, but having Ellie make that joke about the pages being stuck together, it felt off-putting to me. I don't know. I didn't love it. The rest of the set of scenes was honestly something I feel like was a lot of filler. I mean, the first 16 minutes of this episode, I think, could have maybe been 5, if I'm being honest.
When you said off-putting, all I could think about was Jennifer Lawrence talking to Zach Galifianakis. Maybe you should be off-putting.
Because you're fat.
God, that show was so funny. But anywho, I appreciate the show addressing gas breaking down over time because, I was about to critique it as well. But I'm with you, Brian. 20 years, give me a break. Ellie actually made me chuckle with the algebra dad joke. Like, I like that one. Ellie asks, how does he walk around with that thing? Who is it? Samson from 28 Inches Later? Goodness. But anywho, beautiful cinematography as Joel drives all the wreckage and the abandoned cars, really puts it into perspective, as does the dreary Hank Williams song. Like, it really looked bleak out there. I thought,
Hey, Nico.
What's up?
I don't think that's the name. Is that the name of that movie? It's 28 what?
Inches Later.
Yeah, bro.
I think
Years
it's
later.
years.
Years later.
I
My
think it's
bad.
years. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't remember. I saw it in 4DX. It hit me in the head one time.
Oh my god.
But anywho, I'm joking. That didn't happen. All right. 20-year-old ravioli is just as crazy as 20-year-old gas. And Joel was ticking me off, too. Man is cutting ravioli and have to eat them. Give me a break. That's the softest hands I've ever seen. The dad jokes are refreshing humor, but why is she telling a joke this late at night? I can tell that I do not have the patience for a post-apocalyptic world. Not related to the show at all, but I'd love to visit Wyoming someday just to see how beautiful it is up there. If I had that Mike Settle wealth, I'd be up there, but I'm just a poor man. This is the last thing I got, Dustin. Not much has happened so far, but I did enjoy the journey and the camera work. Like, I really thought like a lot of the shots showed how bleak their world was.
Yeah. Well, despite not even being tired, Ellie is snoozing while Joel continues to drive. He comes to a stop because the road is littered with abandoned vehicles blocking the path. He gets out to investigate and sees the road is clear on the other side of the overpass. They're in Kansas City. He gets off the interstate to go around the wreck, and Ellie is at 6s and 7s looking at the map, so they're lost in the city. They see the QZ, and then a man in the street asking for help. Joel floors it, and they're under attack. Joel crashes into a laundromat and takes shelter from the shower of gunfire heading their way. He tells Ellie to sneak through a hole in the wall as he provides cover. Joel smokes the two men shooting at them, but then another busts through the door and gets the upper hand on Joel. Ellie sneaks back in behind them and saves Joel by shooting the man, who cries like a little girl and begs for his life. Just pathetic. Joel sends Ellie back into the hole in the wall and finishes the coward. He rejoins Ellie and they start their escape. We cut to even more new characters, where a doctor is being questioned by Kathleen about Henry's whereabouts. Kathleen is played by Melanie Linsky, and all I could think of was, "You have a baby in a bar." Shout out to Sweet Home Alabama. She puts a gun to the doctor's head, and he's saved for the moment by car horns honking. She heads outside and sees the crying fella's corpse laid out on the ground. They think it was outsiders. She suspects Henry brought them in. We hear there's no chance the kid survives, and Kathleen storms off looking pissed, and the next set of scenes is the ending.
Look, the crying guy's name is Brian. Give him a voice. Justice for Brian.
Well,
Anyway, so Kansas City replaces Pittsburgh, as people like fan of the show Matt Sears saw in the game. We did not. But Mason found the production locations in Canada more closely imitated KC and felt like the Berg wasn't important enough to the story to, justify the difficulty of manufacturing it. Neil Druckmann considered it a superficial change as the characters are more important than the location. Now let me read this to you. This is funny. He, Mason, felt the additional distance to KC justified the story beats and character development. Dude, it's a show. You can say it took as long as you want to get somewhere. Like, you don't have to show them going the whole distance there. Like, so can I ask someone what that matters, like, at all? That's crazy. It's a made-up show, but whatever. Anyway, and when they're in that first gunfight there, that second guy was easy target when he was checking on the first guy. But then again, we wouldn't have gotten the tension then. And that nice scene with Brian. Again, what a nice, good guy, I bet. He didn't deserve that. Shit, man, honestly, on a funny or non-funny note, hearing it happen and then hearing Brian call for his mom kind of was like, oh, shit, like, damn, kind of got me a little bit. But very good set decoration. Seeing the old Doritos logo, nice attention to detail there. Here where Joel needs to help Ellie crawl inside that small hole so she can open the door from the other side. Like, definitely a game mechanic players are familiar with, because Joel would have to boost Tess and Ellie up to those high places in the game so they can drop the ladder or find an alternate path. And I'm glad Dustin mentioned it. I wrote, hey, it's Lure Lynn from Sweet Home Alabama playing Kathleen here, who's a new addition actually for the TV series. In the game, the scavengers are actually heard discussing a boss, but who that is never revealed. And also during the game, Joel will find a note from a woman who lost a child when he got killed by Fedra soldiers and swore to get revenge for that. kind of like Kathleen did with her brother in this episode. So they did change up some stuff for the TV show.
Yeah, the action picked up significantly very quick. I appreciate Joel maintaining control of that truck. The folks from Strangers Pray at Night could learn a lesson because that was just one of the most pathetic examples of driving I've ever seen. Good shot by Joel, but how did Buddy get hit? A single action rifle and you saw him stand up and aim? Make it make sense. Goodness. The guy was cutting ravioli in half and you got shot by him. Brian crying after he got shot is hilarious, trying to recruit Joel and Ellie. Man, just shoot his ass now. Sorry, Brian. Not you, the other Brian. I left at Brian crying out for his mom before Joel takes him out. Season 2, Rick Grimes would have let him live. You going to let him sleep where Lori sleeps? Where Carl sleeps? I'm sorry. Sorry.
That's uncalled for.
Sorry, I got hacked. Kathleen is like a sprained ankle and nothing to play with. That lady is intense. And this is the last thing I got. I just didn't have a lot. I thought it was a decent set of scenes. The action picked up, but I'm still kind of struggling to lock in so far.
All right, here's the ending. Kathleen heads back to the doctor's holding cell, orders it to be open, and fires a shot without saying a word. She addresses the crowd and says this was Henry's work and that he and his allies must be killed. We see buildings being raided and then see Joel and Ellie hiding out. They're waiting for the right moment to make a move, and Joel is upset Ellie had to shoot someone since she's just a kid, and he apologizes, which makes her cry. She reveals it wasn't her first time shooting someone, and he gives her the gun back. He shows her how to hold the gun, and it's time to move. Kathleen and her group are investigating Joel's truck, and Kathleen is led to a different building where she climbs up into the attic and finds several empty cans of vegetables and drawings of superheroes. Kathleen gives instruction to double security around the food, and then she's led downstairs where something is trying to get up through the floor. She tells the man one thing at a time and to seal off the building. Meanwhile, Joel and Ellie make their way into a different building and head up as many of the 42 flights of stairs as Joel can. Ellie asks Joel how he knew about the man asking for help, that he was an ambush, and if he's killed innocent people, and says he's been on both sides of it before, and he blows off the question about killing innocents. They make it up 32 floors before Joel taps out. They set up camp for the night, and she tells him a poop joke, and they share a nice laugh before they go to sleep. Ellie wakes Joel up, and they're being held at gunpoint by a couple of kids, and the episode ends.
So right off the bat, the bearded dude here, Perry, one of Kathleen's men, is actually played by Jeffrey Pierce, who was the voice and motion captured for the character of Tommy, Joel's brother, in the video game as well. So nice little Easter egg there. But can we talk about this scene where Joel shows Ellie some gun safety? Like, okay, first of all, I did appreciate the gun moment. I think after so many times saying no, that it kind of showed that their bond is strengthening. Although I probably would have already used that gun on her by now. She is a lot better this episode and next. I did mention that. Now, worst gun teaching practices ever. Like, didn't tell her literally anything how to use the safety, how to safely uncock the hammer, because she puts the hammer back in her, tries to put it in her pants with the hammer still cocked. Like, what the fuck? It was bizarre, crazy. You could tell nobody working on the movie right there knew anything about guns. Just
I'm surprised she didn't cheddar bob herself.
Exactly. Another change from the game is that the background of Henry and Sam is different. I know we don't know their names yet, but whatever, they're Henry and Sam. Initially, they were just part of another group who got separated and ended up trapped in the city, pretty much like Joel and Ellie. Also in the game, Sam does not have face paint on when he meets Joel and Ellie, but I did like that little superhero face paint mask there. I liked it. All in all, it was a decent episode. Again, I say it because it's a point of contention every single episode. Ellie wasn't as annoying this episode to me overall. And yeah, it was a lot of filler, but I mean, overall, I liked it. I just feel like it could have been 20 minutes and not, or 10 minutes, maybe not 30.
Yeah, I'm with you on Ellie. It's amazing. She's not annoying when she shuts the hell up. What a concept. But anywho, good Lord, Kathleen starting to set of scenes off shooting and killing a doctor. God damn. But I mentioned this a lot in this episode and the next one. Her soft voice made it kind of hard to take seriously when she's telling the crowd of people to find out who did this. Like, we listen to her. Not much note taking, but these scoping the scenes out missions, I thought they were pretty intense. And again, Kathleen is intense, but her soft voice is just hard for me to take seriously if I'm one of those people. Walking up 45 flights of stairs sounds absolutely horrible, but you could close the hell out of your Apple rings. Like, you'd have gotten them steps in quick. Going to sleep in an abandoned apartment building, fully clothed on some old couch cushions. Like, this is hell, and I hope I never have to go through a zombie apocalypse. I might just jump out of the building like World War Z when Brad Pitt almost jumped. I think I'd have just done that. And this is the last thing I got. I thought the diarrhea joke at the end was terrible. Sorry. Heard that one plenty of times.
Yeah, like that's the one that made you laugh. But Nico, you brought up a good point though, when you said it's crazy how not annoying she is when she shuts the hell up. Like that could be said about 90% of women. But
love y'all, ladies.
Sorry, God. Sorry. We're sorry. We're so sorry.
I'll just go ahead and give my final thoughts on the
Dustin's
episode.
opinion does not reflect everyone's opinion on the podcast.
It does. You guys texted me to say that.
Whoa,
But,
Relax.
I'll just go ahead and give my closing thoughts on the episode. It's not a bad episode, but nothing I loved either. I gave it a 6.5 because, again, it was really well done, and we start to see Joel and Ellie's relationship and dynamic evolve. But man, come on. Even more new characters. You haven't made me care about the characters we have established, and now you're more new characters. But
And they're not even established. Like I said, it was just little side quests that don't even matter now. So, I mean, they're all throwaway characters. So,
Wow.
yeah, I get that.
Well, I'm glad you told me that because now we're 5 episodes in, and we still peaked 30 minutes into episode 1.
exactly.
I mean, true. All right, you guys ready for the next episode?
Yes, sir.
Episode 5, Endure and Survive. The episode opens with a flashback of Henry, who looks like Jameis Winston, by the way, and his older brother, Sam, hiding from the resistance. And we see Kathleen talking to a group who used to be Fedra informers, asking where Henry is, and that goes as well as you'd expect, and all the informers end up dead, after telling her what she wanted to know, of course. That Henry is still in the city. We cut back to Henry and Sam and see the doctor who got murdered last episode helping the boys and learn Sam is deaf. After a 10 days later title card, Henry and Sam plan to leave the city but spot Joel's fight with the resistance.
Yeah, this episode starts off very intense, a lot of action. It's really loud, a lot of chaos. I thought it was a nice change of pace, to be honest. Kathleen is cutthroat, my goodness, willing to massacre a whole group of people for some info, and she still does it after even getting the info. But I'm with this guy. I'm snitching too. I'm not trying to die. I guess I just contradicted myself. Maybe he just wanted to live. I don't know. I think I'd be kind of ready at this point. Kathleen, again, I already said this in the last episode, to be so cutthroat, like her voice, soft voice, just throws me off still. And I'm not hating on ladies. Like I had some intense ladies, bosses at the post office who I was scared of, but Kathleen just ain't doing it for me. 20 cans of food and 6 pounds of beef jerky for 3 people for 11 days is intense. Again, I say I hope I never have to endure a zombie apocalypse. And I said that during The Walking Dead, too. It's like every day, like your whole expedition is just find some canned green beans. That just sounds awful. Good review talk, but Sam is a fine little artist. Good for him finding ways to pass the time and to be artistic in these trying times. And I thought it was really sad that a little boy is so aware of how serious murder is right now. The hug between father and son I thought was very touching. And the last thing I got is way more intense open than we've been getting. And I'm actually interested in Henry and Sam's journey. Maybe the show can reel me back in, but now that Brian's mentioned they're just side characters, I think I'm about to shake the hook and just start swimming off again. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's a chaotic opening, and we have some violence, and then we meet back up with that lunatic Kathleen. But it immediately veers into meh territory for me. I don't know. I'm just having a hard time getting invested in all these moving parts because we don't spend enough time with any of them. And we're dropped into what feels like the climax of a storyline that we know nothing about. And right when I start to care about Joel and Ellie, we abandon that storyline for a while. It's a cool moment in the attic with the bonding and the Raphael mask being painted on the little boy's face, but I just feel detached from it all. I did like seeing when and how this fits into our story, though. Like they saw Joel shooting from across the street. Got it. I don't know. Okay enough open, I guess.
Yeah. We open up this set of scenes with Henry deciding to follow Joel, leading to how the previous episode ended. We pick up in a bit of a standoff with Ellie and Henry starting to panic because of Joel's, quote, asshole voice. A lot of back and forth here, but eventually Henry proposes an alliance with Joel, promising to get them out of the city, and Joel hesitantly agrees after learning that Henry isn't Fedra, but a rat, and watching Ellie and Sam laugh together. The group goes over a dicey-as-fuck plan that involves going into tunnels that shouldn't be, but more than are likely, are full of infected. I mean, I'm just saying, playing a video game, I'd expect that's the next level. And there's going to be some plant zombies down there. But the group travels to the underground and takes shelter in an abandoned classroom. And it's not just infested with infected. That was kind of hard to say. But as Ellie and Sam play indoor wall soccer, Henry reveals to Joel that he sold out Kathleen's brother, Michael, to Fedra to secure medicine to save Sam's life. Hence why she's after Henry so heavily. He also senses Joel was a father before the apocalypse, despite denying that he is Ellie's dad. Joel dismisses his remark and insists that they move on, saying they've waited long enough.
Lamar Johnson, Henry's actor, took the sign language very seriously and wanted to convey his sincerity, and I really appreciate that from him. I think his name is Kevon Woodard, as the little boy who plays Sam. He is an actual deaf actor, and I thought the two had great chemistry on screen. Good to hear Sam laughing and having fun, even though it's with Ellie, so that's incredible acting by him. Love how quick both Joel and Ellie were to disavow each other. They can't stand each other, and I laughed at it. I thought it was funny. And outside of episode 1, Pedro Pascal is cashing probably the easiest check with this show. He's right there with T-Dog. He just walks around annoyed with Ellie, sleep, sit down, not be in episode 3 but 5 minutes. You know, hell yeah, brother. Make your money, man. And this last thing I got, decent set of scenes, but kind of slowed down towards the end of them.
Dude, in Mandalorian, it's not even him. They cast him to be the main guy, and then they get a stunt guy to walk around the entire episode with a mask on. He just cashes the check because he does the voice. It's crazy.
You shitting me?
No.
God, I need that job.
I can't think of Pedro Pascal anymore after what you said about him, or about Austin Butler the other day. This is a quote from Nico. He said Austin Butler is the Pedro Pascal of Austin Butlers, because those two are in like everything these days, and it makes so much sense. But anyway, all right, so finally, we're where the last episode left off. I got a good laugh at Joel's tone in that whole part. Like, Ellie's like, come on, dude. They don't want to kill you, but he's just being him. That was funny.
Yeah.
I do kind of like the addition of Henry and Sam joining up with Joel and Ellie, so my complaints in the open have been resolved and withdrawn. They just took long enough to get there, man. And I like the plan, because if there's one thing I know from watching shows and movies, it won't go smoothly, so it should make for good television. I'm getting more invested in the story at this point, despite the elaborate pace in which we're progressing.
All right, moving right along. Chaos continues in the streets as we see Kathleen lamenting in her childhood bedroom to Perry on her desire to have Henry killed to avenge Michael. He swears his allegiance to her and promises to secure her vengeance. I mean, yeah, he definitely wants to fuck her. But regardless, satisfied with Perry's simping over here, Kathleen leaves to continue the hunt. And by nighttime, Joel, Henry, Sam, and Ellie emerge into the suburbs, but are shot at by a resistance sniper. Joel flanks him and hesitantly ends up having to kill him, but not before he alerted Kathleen. And as the resistance arrives in their trucks, Joel takes shots at them so the group can move, and the next set of scenes is the ending.
I'm just giving you a heads up now, Dustin. I don't have a lot on this one. But is it just me, or does Kathleen remind you of Rose from 2.5 Men? I keep expecting her to randomly pop up on Charlie's balcony for some reason. Intense shootout, and again, I must say, I hope to never live through something like this. Constant stress of finding food, the zombies, infected, whatever you want to call them. These other crazy people who have formed alliances. Like, I'm not having a good time. Fuck was a very valid response from Pedro, Joel. Hearing reinforcements were on the way. I thought that was great. The last thing I got is not much written down, but I can sense there's an action-packed ending on the way. And the set scene of scenes number 4 is where I do have the most. So a lot did happen in the set breakdown of 4.
Mike, is that you? I don't have a lot here either.
I think it was, to be honest.
I don't have a lot here either, Brian. So be ready, I guess. We switch back to Kathleen, and I know it's relevant to Henry and whatnot, but I just don't care about what she's talking about, man. Just shut up, lady. Thankfully, we get some action when Joel and crew are on the move again. Sniper. Pretty ballsy move from Joel to sneak off and get into the house, and a big shock when it was Blue from Old School shooting at them. What was that old man thinking? I did not expect that to be Father Time up there. And the tension doesn't ease up as Kathleen arrives on the scene, so this is good stuff here, setting up for a good ending.
All right, here's the ending here. I do have a little bit more to go here, but not that much. We open up with an explosion that knocks down Ellie, and Henry runs out into the road and saves her. Joel has a clear shot at Kathleen, but doesn't take it because it would have been too easy, and so Henry comes out of hiding to give himself up. However, an infected horde breaches the ground, and oh yeah, I forgot about the infected because we haven't even seen them in I don't know how many episodes, but here they come. And in the battle, Perry is killed by this big Mama Jama infected who's chokeslam motherfuckers like Andre the Giant, while Joel snipes the infected from the tower to protect Ellie, Henry, and Sam. Ellie ends up having to save Henry and Sam with her knife. Did I miss what happened to her gun? I don't know. But she wanted to do it the hard way, I guess. And just as they're escaping, Kathleen stops them, but instead of just shooting Henry, she stands there like an idiot and then gets killed herself. That night, the group rests in an abandoned motel. Joel decides to invite Henry and Sam to join him and Ellie on their journey to Wyoming, which he accepts. Not so fast, my friend. In the next room, Sam reveals to Ellie he was infected. Ellie, being immune, keeps it a secret, slicing her hand and tries to rub blood on his bite mark to try to cure him. By morning, Ellie's efforts have failed. Sam turns and attacks her, and in the scuffle, Henry shoots Sam to save Ellie. The decision devastates him. Henry proceeds to kill himself. Joel and Ellie bury their bodies before pressing onwards. That's the end of the whole fucking episode.
Yeah, it is. Hell yeah, Joel. Good shot taking out the front runner, but boy, howdy, there are a lot of vehicles in pursuit behind them. There are a shit ton of people there. How did these four get out of this was my first thought. And that's cold-blooded, Kathleen. Kids die, Henry. Kids die all the time. Like, that was a very haunting line. A bunch of stampeding infected to cause distraction will do it, though. I kind of saw it coming, but the intensity and action was still very intense. I laughed out loud when the infected got ran over by the truck. I thought that was hilarious. And yeah, it's official. I think these infected look incredibly dumb. But that lead infected, whatever it's called, Brian, you can call me out on that. I really don't know. But ripping Perry's head off was badass. Go ahead.
I said, I don't know either. I don't know what it was called either. I called it Big Mama Jama.
We'll just call him Samson. Ellie has a clear stab. It's an alpha. Ellie has a clear stab and goes in on the shoulder area. Was that a kill shot? What are you doing, Ellie? Can you do anything right? Seeing Kathleen get got was much appreciated, and I thought that infected that jumped at her was so damn fast. Like, that made Remick look slow. I must give Sam props. He's made Ellie not miserable this episode, so thank you, young man. And now I'm about to crash out. The one character I like and cared for is infected. Why, Sam? I'm sick. Very good acting by Henry, reflecting on what he just did, killing his son. And I thought it was gut-wrenching when he took his own life. This sucks. I really was enjoying their little – I mean, they might be side characters, but I at least cared for them. I appreciate Joel digging them graves. Very honorable thing to do. I'm sure Jim taught him how to do it. And Sam's last message, I'm sorry, was so sad. Poor fella. Probably my favorite episode so far, but like I told y'all in the group text, the name of this episode is Endure and Survive, and that's kind of how I feel with The Last of Us Season 1. Go ahead.
Yeah, holy cannoli. That's a lot of guys. I feel like our group is in some major trouble here, which is a great feeling. Gets me invested. I didn't expect the ground to collapse and a million shroom heads to run out. That was awesome. And a good way to write the escape for the kids. Works for me. I buy that. The CG of the King Shroom or Big Mama Jama, whatever you want to call it, that didn't really work for me, though. I thought he looked pretty bad. His movements, too, like when he tossed the guy around, it just didn't look good. It looked too effortless, like it was clearly fake. Joel, on the other hand, his shooting looked real good. Man didn't miss, and he borrowed Herschel's infinite ammo cheat code. Love that. I loved Kathleen getting shot, but at the same time, all that build-up over the past couple episodes, and her story's just over, just like that. Okay. Major cause for concern when Sam reveals his wound, and extremely reckless of Ellie to put her blood in it. I mean, she didn't even ask his blood type. What are we doing? And oh man, he turned. That is an emotional scene. R.I.P. Sam and R.I.P. Henry. Wow. Like, it was absolutely tragic and gut-wrenching. But it was also the best piece of television in this series so far to me. Like, imagine all the emotions that Henry went through, having to, seeing his brother, then having to kill his brother. He just couldn't take it, and then he killed himself. This is a phenomenal second half of the episode that saved it for me. I gave this one an 8.
And I looked up what the Big Mama Jama is called, And now I feel like an idiot because Matt's here's to give him credit, did tell me about this thing before. I just forgot. But it is called a bloater. So it's supposedly stage 4 infection, the final fungal form. It's far more dangerous than clickers or runners. It's like clickers, they're blind and rely on sound to locate prey. So yeah, bloater, not big mamma jamma or
Samson?
fungi. Samson.
Gotcha. Yeah, that one, that thing was scary, I ain't gonna lie. But whatever the regular infected are, they got the flower heads, those look dumb.
I saw him and I was like, oh, he must work out. That was from Dumb and Dumber.
All right, guys, any final thoughts before we get out of here?
No.
Brian, I'm sorry you're not enjoying rewatching your season, man.
I don't know. Like I said, maybe watching it all together makes it feel like one movie. But now that we're breaking it down one at a time, I'm like, oh, God, I don't even remember this. Ugh, when did this happen? So it's like just forgettable in a lot of places and filler.
Nah, I feel you. We'll just do Bates Motel Season 2 up next. But we appreciate y'all tuning in, and we'll be back next week.
Do it in August.
Thank you so much, everybody. I'll see you next week. And in the meantime, take care of yourself.
Just want to remind everybody,